Alright guys, so another issue that I had after starting up the car about a year and a half, almost 2 years, I noticed the headlights. Basically what they called high beams. But now it's basically all of the four headlights aren't engaging. So I tried all the tricks. I tried the Twilight Centennial, kicking on the courtesy lights, pulling this out. Everything is working. The buzzer, the courtesy lights are working. Tried engaging this all the way to the max. And what I've been reading is that the headlights themselves don't have a fuse. So I think there's a relay somewhere underneath, under the firewall or by the firewall. I can't tell if I think it might be actually under the hood by the firewall. And then one thing that people were saying on the 70s Cadillacs, I think back in the 60s too, the dimmer switch, there's a dimmer switch. So usually we're used to modern cars, the dimmer switch being somewhere on the steering wheel, one of these guys for beams. So it turns out, which I never really knew, you can actually turn off beams by pressing this little pedal right here, this little foot thing. I had no idea it was even there. So that seems to be one of the main culprits when you get headlights out. And so what I noticed is I took a look at this a few times already and didn't really get to see what the issue was. Couldn't tell. It's pretty tight down here, especially with my seat. The seat wasn't able to be pushed back. What I did is I took off the carpet. And so when you take off the carpet on the headlight dimmer switch, by it, there's this little, I guess, protective barrier between, and then underneath that you can expose some of the wiring, right? So if you'll see, there's the dimmer switches mounted. I imagine there's another screw on the other side. But then what you want to look for, which I missed the first 3 times I looked at this. So there's a lead, a connector. Trying to get out. Good. It's pretty tight if you know this car down here. So there's the connectors. Now they say to replace the actual dimmer switch as one of the fix. So I tested it here with my circuit tester. No power was getting to it, so there was nothing getting to this dimmer switch, which obviously makes me think that the dimmer switch is possibly still good. The issue is not with the switch. So I'm following the wires up, and you see this. Try to get a better angle for you guys. You see that? So that doesn't look good, no matter how you slice it. Now, when I first touched the wires, it looked like maybe just the tape was kind of old. Obviously, some heat got to it. But then when it started this last time, when I started actually taking a closer look, the actual wire is disconnected. Right? You can see it right there. So it looked like it got hot. The tape came out, whatever. I don't know if someone already replaced this before, but that's definitely the culprit, I imagine. That's got to be spliced back together, shrink wrapped, whatever. But that's the reason my headlights burn. There's no power getting to that switch, and the headlights are totally dark. So If you have this problem, I'd definitely take a closer look at the area down here. It's right under the fuse box, driver's side. I'm 99% sure that's the cause. You know, the other thing is to check the power by that firewall with the relay, but just seeing that kind of melted, disconnected area, it's got to be it. So I'm going to probably take a crack at those wires tomorrow, and I'll give another update.